va plela regno a Lord.
I will call the meeting to order. Okay. Oui. Moved by Councillor Hill, seconded by Councillor DeVoe. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. 2, declaration of conflicts of interest. Any item on the agenda? Councillor Godet? I have a conflict with the motion new business 11.3. It is noted. I will note that conflict to Councillor Godet. Then we'll go on to 3 presentations. We have no presentations this evening. 4, adoption of minutes. 4.1, September 16th, the regular council meeting. Any errors or omissions? Councillor Comeau? I don't know where it is in the minutes, but the name of the people who had sent a card of thanks were Maria del DeVoe. Maria del and her husband Gilbert. It will be corrected. Any errors or omissions? If not, a motion is in order. Moved by Councillor DeVoe, seconded by Deputy Warden LeBlanc. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. We will go on to item 5, business arising from previous council meetings. We have nothing there. Item 6, Warden's activity report. I don't have a big report because of the elections, so the meetings were few. On September 24th, I attended the special meeting of the Liaison and Oversight Committee of the REN. On the 26th of September, I attended to a virtual meeting of the governors of Université Sainte-Anne, and they have renamed me vice president for another year. On September 29th, I attended a virtual meeting for the Yarmouth Hospital Foundation. On October 14th, I attended to a meeting with Mainland Telecom here at the municipal office with Stefan for an update. They will bring an update to the next meeting. And on October 26th, we attended a meeting with the mayors and warden to discuss the crisis on the lobster fisheries in southwestern. So all the mayors and wardens from Shelburne to Digby, we are all worried. The lobster fishing will open shortly in District 34. So that is a document that took a lot of my time. And when it started, the council sent a letter for the security of our residents to ask that there be more RCMPs and DFOs in the area to enforce the rules. That went to the minister. And a bit further in the crisis, we sent a second letter from the council to the minister and the fishing associations and the Aboriginals also to ask the minister to bring everybody together to have discussions. So we also offered the council chambers for a place to meet if they wanted it. So above that, I have been in contact with the members of the organizations. I spoke honestly every day with our MLA Gordon Wilson. I spoke with Chris Dauterman's office and himself and his secretary, everybody that we could to try and find a solution. But the people of Clare is very worried. There is no details. We are finding ourselves right in the middle of the situation, and it is more difficult. So the meeting yesterday with the mayors and warden, there are 2 roles that the council can do, is for public security to make sure nobody gets hurt. But the second is the economic impact that the lobster fishery has in our area and in all regions of southwestern Nova Scotia and in rural communities across the province. The question of fishing, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered, and it is the lack of information that creates a lot of worry. Because if something happens to the lobster fishing, our communities will be in trouble. And the question from the agency that is discussed in the media by the fishing associations is how far away can the people come to do some fishing? Will there be a season? Will there be a number of traps? So these are questions that create a lot of anxieties, and the minister needs to answer. That's why we sent the letters, so she can start to answer these questions for the public. All that to say that the council is aware of what is going on, and we feel the anxiety of the people, and we will keep to working as hard as we can to arrive at a solution. Everybody I speak with, the message I try to say is that the Clare Municipal Council is also always ready to play a role, but we need to make a difference, and we need to really think of the role that we can play that will make that difference. So I'm sure that this new council here, it's a priority, and we will continue to work on that. So that is my report. I don't know if you have any questions. Councillor Comeau? For what concerns the fishing, I think the municipality should be preoccupied by the situation, the lack of resources, and how it affects our community. And the fishing resources, the resources are important to the region, and I think that we should take a position, in my opinion, and we would like to see measures in place to manage the resources. So for me, that is important. We might not have the solution to the situation, but we need to make our position known. That is my opinion. Absolutely. We all saw that Alistair Surratt was named by the federal government, and his mandate is more or less to listen and to make a report, listen to all sides, and try to find how the people can come together with a solution. But one of the things that I think, and I've heard it in the media and different discussions, that the communities have something to say. Part of the report should be the opinion of the community. So I think that it would be a chance for the community sometime to meet with Alistair and note the anxieties that we have. Yes, he will meet both sides, but ourselves as the community, where the fishing is really important, and the decisions that will be made will affect this community and all communities in Southwestern. So I think we have to have something to say. Any other comments or questions? If not, we will go on to correspondence. 8.1. No, I'm sorry, the official statements from the members of council. Any official presentations? The only thing I would say on behalf of council is to welcome Councillor Godin. It is a pleasure to have you around the table, and I think you are bringing a lot of force to the council, and we are lucky to have you. You're welcome. I don't know if you want to say a few words. Thank you for that. I am eager to start in my new committees. Welcome. Any other presentations, official statements? If not, we will go on to correspondence from the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal.
Mailed to Area Manager Pamela Melman-Shand. No litter signs are typically placed in an area where there is evidence of littering. Please contact Pamela at the number below to discuss the most beneficial position for the no littering signs in the District of Clare. Should you have any further questions, please contact Area Manager Pamela Melman-Shand. Sincerely, Lloyd P. Hines, Minister.
Councillor DeVoe. Thank you, Mr. Warden. Did we decide where we wanted the signs? Did we talk of the specific areas where we wanted to put them? If I remember well, it is a subject that Councillor Doucette brought to the table regarding anxieties from certain residents in District 1, but we did not identify specifically places across the district for the signs, so it's a discussion to be made, to be had. I want to say that the way that each district should look at the areas where there are a lot of garbage and maybe call this lady and tell her where we want to put the signs. I think it would be a start. Any more questions or comments? We will go on to discussions, and any councillor can come to the office and talk about their priorities. We will go on to item 11, new business. I am in a hurry this evening. If I don't take care, I'll lose my job. The report from the Chief Administrative Officer. Thank you, Mr. Warden. As you mentioned, I don't have an update on the internet dossier this evening. I will have one for you at the next committee in council meeting, but the dossier is going forward, and the work is being done. The project is going as we would like. For the tourism public spaces development, just to let you know that the councillors are working presently to finalize the conceptual plans for the sites that will be part of the project, Ballivos Cove, Cape St. Mary Park, Smuggler's Cove, Wentworth Park, and Mavillet Beach. These plans will be submitted to the Director of Tourism and myself at the end of the month or early November. The consultants are Uplands. They will be back in the area in November to present these plans. We have discussions with them now. We don't know how the presentations will be made, but when we know, I will share the information with you. For the Veterans Hall in Sonyville, we met on the site on October 22nd with the engineers and Structure Electrical, as we had discussed earlier, and their report as well as their recommendations will be finalized and soon submitted to Red Architects in early November. And from there, the estimate of costs for the renovations will be prepared. And once the municipality has the chance to look at those estimates, RAT will be able to finalize their design and the specifications for the project, for the specs. The welcoming community, the action plan of the municipality has been accepted by Immigration Canada. I am happy to say that our agreement was also signed. I received the document signed by the minister today. So these are good news, and we will give out a press release shortly. And the next week from November 1st to the 2nd will be advertised. the activities planned for next week on the part of the Immigration Week. We will have, as part of the project, we gave a donation of books to the Metagan Adopt a Book campaign for French books, and we will make the official announcement of Chantal Surette as the agent for the project, and we will look, with the permission of the council, of course, to have a note to underline the Immigration Week next week. So we will make the promotion of the activities next week, not necessarily municipal activities, but we will have activities local and national next week. For the breakwater in Belleville's Cove, there also, I am happy to say that we received all the permits to go ahead with the project. We expect to, when talking with the contractor, we plan to start the project in mid-November because of the delay to receive our permits. There is also other work that took precedence, but they are finalizing the work that has to be done, and by mid-November, they are confident that they can start the work in Belleville's Cove.
And just a reminder for those that are listening, and for Councillor Godin as well, that this is a project with a total cost of $431,584, which does include the work necessary for the lighthouse and the damages to the south wharf. For our French services offered, our request to the Acadian and Francophone Affairs was approved. The amount that we received for 2021 was $40,000, which is consistent with what we received the last 2 years from the office, so a big thank you. And there too, the expenses are to help with the to continue to offer services in French. So communiques, simultaneous translation, document translation, advertising, signage, etc. Our action plan for the Housing Action Plan, we issued our RFP today, so the closing date for submissions is November 20th at 3 p.m. So that project is also moving forward. The asset management cohort that we're in, Jeanette and Chelsea Mullen and myself, that is also going well. We just finished 3 out of 6 sessions as part of the program. We did a asset management policy that we will discuss later tonight under the item 11.1, and our funding request to the Canadian Federation of Municipalities to help with the detailed asset management plan was submitted. And just a reminder for the council that under that program we can get 80% of the costs up to a maximum of $50,000. For our finances, on September 30th, 2020, we are still in a good financial position. The municipality has $8,394,180 versus $5,370,772 in expenses, for a surplus of $3,023,408. And still on September 30th, the municipality had a balance of $3,584,636 in its operational reserve, $216,464 in its account for capital projects, and a total in reserve of $5,515,418. So that's $4.6 million can be ventilated in the following manner. In the operational reserve, $969,570. In the reserve for capital reserves, $3 million. In our landfill closure reserve, $331,218. And finally, in the gas tax reserve, $1,236,374. For our deposits for the year, or as of September 30th, with the taxes that we've collected so far from the businesses and residences of Clare, we're more or less at the same level that we were last year at this time. So for me, that says a lot, given the challenges that were put forward with the pandemic. Next week, at the meeting, the Director of Finance will have a more detailed report regarding our current situation. So that concludes my report for tonight. I don't know if you have any questions. Councillor Doucet? Did you talk about the rock barrier in Groskak? No, I did not talk about it, but the rock barrier to counteract the erosion that is that happens on the Burnough Road, on our land on Burnough Road. It was completed by Gary Béliveau Excavation. And that was something that was approved by motion of council in September. The work has been done and Mr. Béliveau has been paid for his work. Thank you, Mr. Orden. And Mr. Cyr, you mentioned the project in Béliveau Cove at the wharf, that they will start approximately mid-November. Will they be able to complete the project before the storms start? I asked that question specifically because I was worried that because of the delays that we had for the permits, that it would push us too late in the season to do all the work, but they reassured us that even by starting in November, that they would have enough time, and if needed, the work could be done during the winter months. It wouldn't be ideal, but it would be possible. But now that we have all the permits and that they're ready to start in a few weeks, we don't see any issues with to complete the work before January, February, the bigger winter months. Are there other questions? Comments? No, we'll go to, no. I'll go to number 10. As they say, I have only one job and it doesn't look too good. 10, committee reports. Danny, 10.1.
Yes, I have a building permit reports. As of September of this year, we had 204 permits issued for a value of construction of $7,838,000. Compared to last year at this time, we had 164 permits issued for $7,037,000. So in 2020, as of September 30th, we are ahead about $800,000, which is really good considering, you know, what kind of year 2020's been. So.
Des questions?
Are there questions, comments? So now we'll go to 11, new business, 11.1. Motion to approve policy, asset management policy. Mr. Cyr? I won't go through all of it. It's something that we've included in your packages and that you have a chance to read it. It's something that that's part of the program that we're currently enrolled in. It's something that will be part of our asset management project. So the policy, essentially, we talk about the objective of the policy, the purpose, the scope, the guiding principles for the asset management. So we talk about sustainability, resilience, responsibility, fiscal responsibility of the council and employees regarding the decision-making and asset management. So it's something that's high level, I would say, but it also speaks about the roles and responsibilities. So if you look at page 3, there's only a few points, but it says it enumerates the council responsibilities of the CAO, the department heads and managers and the staff. And it also talks about the frequency in which we will review it, which is every 3 years, what was recommended to us. If you look at the communities that have already participated in the program that we're participating in right now, or have their own asset management plan, often you will find policies that look pretty much like this one that we have here. So that being said, it's something that we put together, the finance director and myself, AIM, Asset Management, that is delivering the program, revised it. So that being said, we are presenting it to you tonight for your approval. Someone want to do the motion? Councillor DeVoe? I move that the municipality of the District of Clare adopt the asset management policy as presented. Someone who wants to second the motion? Councillor Hill? Is there discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 11.2, motion to award tender, civil engineering services, Metagan sidewalks. We issued a RFP for the sidewalks in Metagan, and this is for the section of the sidewalk. I don't know if I have the civic numbers here, but it's a section of sidewalk in Metagan, so across from where the villa is now until Tim Hortons, in the road Peter de Gaulle from the school to the school, and then from there to the end of the sidewalk to approximately to the end to Cottage Celeste. So it's looking to repair that sidewalk and to look at possibilities to maybe widen them to help with accessibility. From there, with the construction of the villa, that we hope will happen soon, that is not far from there. We are also proposing to lengthen the sidewalk to bring it up until there, so until Connector Road and the Metagan Fire Hall. So right now it's looking at the civil engineering services. So we issued the RFP at the beginning of the month for exactly those services, for a topographical survey, a design of these sidewalks, to repair the existing sidewalks, but also to build the new sidewalks, the costing and the inspection services during the entire construction phase. So the RFP, the closing date was October 23rd. We received 6 submissions. We had in our budget, we had budgeted $45,000 for those services. Unfortunately, it was too low. By looking at the 6 submissions that we received, the least expensive was $53,100, and the highest one was $91,800 plus HST. 3 out of the 6 were in the 50,000. And I read all of them, but looking at those in the 50,000s, I checked with the references. Ones in particular, Able Engineering Services, which is a low bid of $53,100, has already done a lot of work in the municipality of Clare. So I contacted the organizations for which they have done some work. And the feedback was really good. In general, they were very happy with the work and the experience of working with them. So since it's the lower bid and they have met the requirements of the request, and that all the references and previous projects that they've worked on, the client feedback was really good. My recommendation to council is that even though it is a little bit higher than what we had budgeted, I recommend to council that we go ahead with this project and that we accept this bid of $53,100 plus HST, and the company can start immediately, which is a good thing too. So we have a recommendation on the table. Does someone, Councillor Potier? I don't think we have a lot of choice to go ahead, so I'm ready to do the motion. I move that the municipality of the District of Clare award the tender for civil engineering services for the Metagan sidewalks to Able Engineering Services, Inc. in the amount of $53,100 plus HST, and that funds be taken from the municipality's capital reserve. Someone wants to second the motion? Seconded by Councillor DeVoe. Is there discussion on the motion? We've been talking about it for a while, and now with the construction of the new villa, I think accessibility is very important. So, and to be able to have the people that live in the at the villa to have access to the sidewalk, I think that should be a priority for everyone. It's been a priority for council. So are you ready for the question? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried.
We go on to 11.3, motion to grant a tender, energy efficient to Clare Health Center. This is an item that we included in our project, in our budget for capital projects this year. The main reason is one, to have a better lighting inside the building, the energy efficient lighting with LEDs. But secondly, the bulbs that we have presently in the building are becoming hard to find. We know that at a certain point it will be necessary to do this work. So we had an energy audit made, and the results of the audit showed that inside of 5 years, the work would be for about 5 years. So it is a good move from the municipality. We worked with Rexel for a price for the lights to give us a cost for the lighting and the equipment to be installed. With the manpower, we had 2 tenders, Briand Leblanc Electrical and Codan, and the costs were similar, but that of Briand Electrical was a bit shorter at $4,005. So the recommendation from the staff and myself is to go ahead to accept the tenders from Rexel Canada Electrical and the Briand Leblanc Electrical in the amount of $13,790 plus HST and $5,005 plus HST respectively. And these amounts would come from our capital budgets for the municipality. And because it is for the health center, we will be reimbursed at 100% for the HST. So I discussed with the council before in August, and at the time there was unanimous support to go ahead with the project. So this evening I am presenting this just to ratify the decision. Sous-Préfet Leblanc. I move that the municipality of the District of Clare award the tender for the purchase and installation of eco-energetic efficient lighting at the Clare Health Center to Rexel Canada Electrical and Bay Leblanc Electrical in the amount of $13,790.18 plus HST and $5,005 plus HST respectively, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's capital reserve. Seconded by Councillor Hill. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary? Motion is carried. Then we will go to 11.4, We'll wait for a second. The motion to correct the name of a road. We were advised by our residents that when the sign of the Eustache-Como Road was replaced, Department of Transportation had an error in the spelling, and instead of writing Eustache, instead of ACHE, they had AFE, I believe. So we confirmed that it is an error, and in talking with the area manager of TIR, she admitted that it is their error and that they will correct the situation and replace the sign. So the question is becoming, what is the best way to do so? It is an internal process, but the most effective and faster solution would start with a resolution from the Clare Municipal Council to start the process. So that's why the motion is here tonight. The motion, if the motion is passed by council, we will send an official copy to TIR to start the process and correct the problem. Does anybody wish? Councillor Como? I move that the municipality of the District of Clare send a letter to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal of Nova Scotia to confirm the proper spelling of Eustache-Como Road, which is as follows. In French, Chemin Eustache-Como. In English, Eustache, Chemin Eustache-Como. And in English, Eustache-Como Road. Any seconder? Councillor Hill. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary? Motion is carried. 11.5, motion to correct spelling of another road, the Cutro Road. It is exactly the same scenario as the Eustache-Como Road. It is the same cause of the error, and the solution is the same to correct. So without repeating all that I said, we are looking for the same motion that you just passed, but for the Cutro Road. The spelling was, they added a U, it would be Cutro Road, that's the error. And then that is also the residents that noted this. Anybody wish to make the motion? Councillor Godin? I move that the municipality of the District of Clare send a letter to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal of Nova Scotia to confirm the proper spelling of Cutro Road, which is as follows. In French, Chemin Cutro. In English, Cutro Road. Anybody to second? Seconded by Superfel, Deputy Warden LeBlanc. Councillor DeVaux? It's not much, but what I don't understand is, if I understand they made the error when they changed the sign, but we have to go through the whole process for them to put it in the right way. I know that's the process, but to me, it doesn't make sense. It's just a comment. And talking with her, and with Danielle Godin, who takes care of our signs, he spoke with her also, but they looked for solutions. And at the end of the discussion, it was a long discussion, at the end they determined that it is bizarre, and I had the same reaction, but this is the best process to solve the situation as quickly as possible. Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary? Motion is carried. 11.6, the ground search and rescue building, access to water. This is something that I was not aware, but maybe 2 months ago, we had a call from ground search and rescue about no water in their building. And the reason was, and I was not aware, that the water at that building comes from Seacrest Fisheries. The way that the wells were constructed in the past, it's an old system, and the water goes to Seacrest, and then it is pumped to Ground Search and Rescue. Seacrest had a leak in their piping, a major leak, and part of their system, it was seeping under the cement. The water was going everywhere. It was an area where there was a lot of traffic, so they had to close all those pipes and valves, and by doing that, it cut all the water to Ground Search and Rescue. They advised us of the problem. We went to see, and it was explained how the system works. They want to cooperate with Ground Search and Rescue. It is not that they wanted to cut their water, but they had no choice. And it was also at the time of the herring season, and the water was important for them. But the Ground Search and Rescue building belongs to the municipality, so the problem has still not been solved. Seacrest has advised us that they will do the repairs as soon as possible, but the priority evidently was the repairs and the herring. So in talking with Ground Search and Rescue, the warden and myself, we went to see. We were invited to go see and understand the setup. It made us think a bit that our building and our search and rescue services has not had any water for 2 months, and dependent on a private company. So the service is vulnerable, if you want. So Seacrest supports Ground Search and Rescue to have the best intentions, but it is a problem. And I am not to say that it will happen, but if any time the Seacrest management would change and would not want to change, or new ownership who would not be as accommodating to supply water, we would have a problem. So for me, I wanted to make you aware of the situation. What I would like to see, it's not something we had budgeted for this year, but given the nature of what is happening, I would like to see ourselves proceed with the construction of a new well as soon as possible for that building. We just have to look quickly for some pricing. I'm not sure what the price will cost, because the pricing is a cost per foot, depending how deep you have to dig. So I don't have the pricing this evening, but all I'm looking for really is if there is the council is willing to look at that option, and if you want us to present some figures for the next meeting in November and bring some costs to make a motion. If it's not something you want to pursue, it's okay, we will not proceed, but my recommendation, what I would like to see honestly, is that we would like to have a well dug for that building, and we would become independent from Seacrest or anybody else. We would have our own source of water.
I think you should proceed with getting some prices, because I don't think it's right for a municipal building to be reliant on a private business. I mean, they have to be self-sufficient.
And also, with the importance of search and rescue, that they need a well. So it is obligatory, it is important to support and to build a well. Thank you, Mr. Warden. The fish plants in that area take their water from the other side of the road at the end of the river. But the problem that is there now, it's not the first time. It happened to the other wells also. It will always happen. So now, for a few months, They do not have a toilet in that building. So that concerns me most. It's a concern. So I think, like Councillor Hill just said, we should look at least how much it would cost to continue with a well, to have our own well. Anybody else? The system, we went to see, the system is old and is complex. It comes from far. There are a lot of pipes. And if I support building a well, I need to say that Briand and Seacrest have been more than accommodating to give water to search and rescue. And they were ready to do what they could, but they are limited in what they can do. They have the interest of the community at heart. I just wanted to make that point. And to talk about Councillor DeVos' point, Briand also went as far as saying that when Ground Search and Rescue have meetings, they would be willing to put that valve on so they can have the water for their meeting. By doing that, it worsens the situation at the plants, but they were willing to put the water back on for their meetings. So I want to note the support that they have from Briand and Seacrest. It is important to note.
Do we need a motion or no? Just wanted support. So I think that everyone agrees with that. Next, 11.7, Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities, Long Service Award. Mr. Sear. Every year, the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities and at their fall conference, they highlight the contribution of municipal councillors at their communities that have served as councillors for many years, whether it be 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, or more. With the pandemic this year, unfortunately, there was no conference as usual. The reason I say that is because the Warden LeBlanc this year was recognized for his 20 years of service in his community as municipal council. So if you permit, I will read the certificate that was sent to us before presenting it to him.
Federation of Municipalities Certificate of Recognition presented to Warden Ronnie LeBlanc, Municipality of the District of Clare, in recognition of 20 years of dedicated service to municipal government in the province of Nova Scotia. This scroll of recognition acknowledges a significant contribution to the institution of local government. It further acknowledges a commitment to the philosophy, goals, and activities of the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities presented in the year 2020. Alors, félicitations, Monsieur le Président.
So congratulations, Mr. Warden. It's very well deserved.
Merci. Well,
Thank you. I would like to thank you for the presentation and thank you to the NSFM for the certificate. It is certainly an honor to serve the municipality of Clare, but I must say that time goes by a bit too quickly. So that being said, there's at 12, we have closed session. There's one item in the closed session, personnel matters. So we need a motion to go to the closed session. Moved by Councillor Doucet, seconded by Deputy Warden LeBlanc. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. Good night.